Thoughts on McGrillen pulling out and on your new matchup?
I don't give a fuck. But listen, I told him several times. I put on my Instagram story. I told him every time he talks shit. I replied to him, "You will pull out." I still have the screenshots of him. He doesn't believe me. I said, "You will pull out." Said it to him maybe 5 times, and he did. So very quickly, it becomes who's next, and in my opinion, probably a harder fight. So yeah, I can't be dwelling on the past. Didn't fight, so fuck him. I have a probably more dangerous fight, I think now.
Oh, a lot of respect there. I like it. Let's come over to Jack Cartwright. Jack, you got
Yes.
called in on short notice. You got to like hearing that. And your thoughts on this fight coming up on October 3rd?
Yeah, I'm excited for it. It's short notice, but I train all year round. I've not stopped training all year, so I'm happy to jump in on like short notice. 3 weeks is plenty of time as we've got it on a catch weight. So yeah, I'm happy. I'm excited for it. I'm ready to go.
Oh, very good. Tani, go ahead.
All right, Sean Sheehan, please.
First of all to Jack. Jack, I believe yourself and Caolan sparred not too long ago. How did that go, and what do you think it'll tell about the fight coming up?
We didn't spar. We've not sparred, have we, Caolan?
It was
We've done a
we
little bit of
2 minute kickboxing warm up round.
Yeah, we've done a little bit of touchy kickboxing sparring and a couple of positional rounds grappling.
Yeah.
I believe he did a full on like MMA spar with Lewis, and he had like his little thing with him. We didn't have like a full on like in the cage fight sort of spar. He's come down. We'd had a couple of rounds, like I said, like just like touchy feely sparring and like a couple of like you start in this position, I start in that position, grappling around. So we've had a feel of each other. He's felt me, I felt him. I've seen a couple of his threats. He's seen a couple of mine. It's one of them. Do you know what I mean? He trains not too far from where I live, so he's been down to the gym a couple of times. So yeah, that is what it is. I'm not taking too much from sparring because some people are shit in sparring and brilliant in a fight, and some people are brilliant in sparring and shit in a fight. So it's like, what you're really going to do with that information? Like, he knows how big I am and my body type, and I know how big he is in his body type. I guess that's basically what you can take from that, really. But he might have his perception of what happened in them exchanges, and I might have my perception in those exchanges. But I'm not basing the whole sort of his whole game off what I saw in those sessions in the gym. If that makes sense.
Jack, just for you, is this an opportunity for you, I suppose, to get your career back on track? Like when you're in Cage Warriors, everyone looked at you as like the guy who's going to go on and go to the PFL or the UFC and go on a great run, and kind of it went a bit sideways for a while going to OKTAGON. Is this your opportunity, big fight with Caolan, to get maybe into one of the tournaments and to go and be a world champion in a big organization?
Well, that's why I'm here. Do you know what I mean? I've constantly looked to fight the best guys available for myself to fight. I wouldn't be in the sport if I didn't do that. Do you know what I mean? Caolan's a good guy. Do you know what I mean? He is what he is, and I'm happy to fight him. Do you know what I'm saying? It is what it is, man. He's a good fighter. He's had a good career up to this point. I think I'm better than him. Do you know what I'm saying? But I think I'm going to think that I'm better than like anybody that I'm going to be fighting. I don't think that I've fought someone who I'm not better than. Do you know what I mean? I don't think I've ever met a bantamweight who's as good as I am. But that's why I'm a fighter. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's the plan. Go in, beat him, wish him all the best after the fight. But I'm going in there to earn it and win and move on with my career. Like you say, I'm happy to be with PFL. I'm happy to be fighting on a big card. Like I said, they asked me if I could fight on. They said 3rd of December, and I was like, 3rd of December. I'm sure he's fighting in October, and then I was like, just don't triple check it. And he said, no, you're right. It's in 3 weeks. So I said, fuck, go on then, let's go, let's do it. Can we do it at 140 so I don't have to boil my ass down to 135? He said, yeah, no worries. And Caolan accepted, so we've got a fight.
And just one for Caolan. Caolan, obviously, it feels like every fight you have now is on short notice. You said this is a tougher fight. Could you describe the matchup, the difference in the matchup between Lewis and Jack, and why it's tougher?
Well, I suppose the most obvious one is going from Lewis as a southpaw backhand, and Jack's not a southpaw. Lewis just like repeatedly throws left hand, so of course you were like drilling specifically for that. But yeah, just change it up. So I'm in like elite physical condition at the minute. My pace over 3 5 minute rounds. Like I can't no like I don't think many 135ers alive if will fit to keep that pace for 15 minutes. So I'm confident to fight. So It definitely changes up with Lewis. His style is not really like Jack's, other than they both can punch. I think Jack's probably a bit more in his punch, so that's probably why I think he's even more dangerous. I think I can beat both, but Jack's probably a bit of a bigger punch than Lewis. You know.
Okay. Thanks, lads.
Paul Brown.
What's the crack, guys? Paul Brown here, Fighters Only. Caolan, what's the story, my man? How are you? Quick one about just how the fight came about. Obviously, we've seen how the fight with Lewis got pulled, and you guys were going at it a little bit in the lead up to that, where you were tagging each other in Instagram stories. How quick did the timeline of all of that play out? How quick was Jack's name thrown in front of you, and just talk to me a little bit about that.
Well, I actually don't know when Lewis pulled out. I found out about it on Saturday morning, and I was offered 3 names, and I said yes to 3 names. I got offered Jack Cartwright, Renat Havilov, and your man who fought Laplas, can't remember, is it Ali Taleb, said yes to all 3. And I think by about, must have been about 5, 6 o'clock, it was all sorted on the Saturday. Like, so, lad, I've been here. My UFC debut came out on the Monday night. My opponent pulled out. I told them I'll fight anyone you want. Got it on the Tuesday. The 10 days before my UFC Manchester, my opponent pulled out and said take it. So I wasn't going to start changing it up now, you know what I mean?
And just one for Jack. Jack, absolutely great to see you back. It's been a year since you fought. You were matched to fight Igor Severino a couple of times. And when I mentioned to a friend on Saturday that you were actually going to be fighting Caolan, a couple of people said to me, is he not still signed with OKTAGON? So can you just explain to us what was the situation with OKTAGON and how did it end up here?
They had me on a one-fight deal. And I got an injury. So simple as that, really. Do you know what I mean? They had me on. I pulled out twice. I'd never pulled out before, man, but my body just failed me, man. And
don't pull out now, lad. I'll be fucked.
Oh, don't worry, bro.
After getting another one.
Don't worry, man. I'll be there. Don't you worry about that, man. I'll be there, man. But yeah, but I've been in camp all year. That's the frustrating thing, man. Like fighters know that it ain't cheap to live this life. You know what I mean? And you get paid when you fight. So I've had to have some like hard conversations here and there, man, and I had to just stick it out, and be like, trust me, something's coming along the way. Something will come along the way, and you have those conversations with yourself, and then the proposition got put to me. Boom, about this then on 3 weeks' notice, and you have to just, like he said, man, like full respect. He got sent my name, and he's trained with me before. He knows I'm not shit. He's coming out there saying I'm better than Lewis, this, that, and the other, blah, 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 blah. He knows what. We've both felt each other in the on the mats there, so I'm happy that he's took this fight. And yeah, like I said, they had to be on like a little 10-day thing, like after my pullout, they had me on like a little thing where it's like I couldn't re-sign with another organisation for a certain amount of time, like a cooling off period sort of deal. So I was just waiting around on that, and then once that had come through, the Europe card, I was kind of gearing up to as if I was going to go on that, and then they didn't really have space for me on the card, but I was just still in the gym, just training all the time as if I was fighting, because I thought something will come along, and then something came along. So I said yes, boom, and we're locked and loaded, ready to go.
Right, cheers, boys.
Nice one.
Your fault.
Jacob.
This question is for Caolan. In your vlog, you had said that if you got a win over Lewis, you'd be looking at a possible title shot. Does that still apply here with the replacement in Jack?
I don't really know. Lewis had like the European title and stuff, and had a bit of a name in the PFL, so I think I'd probably need one more, to be honest. Now that Lewis was like, I made this like a perfect debut, like, because I didn't really rate him that highly, but he had like hype and talk behind him. But he'd won in the PFL, he had the PFL belt, so I don't know. Probably would need one more else the tournament now, if I'm being honest, lad, unfortunately.
Awesome. And then for Jack, if you're able to get a win here, where does this take you in your PFL career? And then are you looking to get in right away?
Yeah, I'm looking to get in right away. Like I said, I've been through camps all year, man, and with no benefit from doing it. Do you know what I mean? So I want to go in, obviously beat Caolan, and then boom, on to the next one. I've never been picky, do you know what I mean? Anytime people have offered me fights, it's always just been yes, yes, yes. I've never negotiated who I'm fighting and who I'm not. So I'd be open to what the next plan is realistically. But all my sights are set on him. Do you know what I mean? Like all my plan is just strictly on him. Like I'm not bothered about what's next, all that sort of crap. I'm not asked. I'm here to deal with him on the 3rd. That's it.
Thanks, guys. Best of luck to both of you.
Nice one.
Gabriel.
Start with Caolan. It's just not often that we see a contender coming off a win in the UFC and they don't stick with the promotion. Can you just talk a little bit about the opportunity that PFL gave and maybe a little bit of negotiations why switching homes ended up being what happened for you?
Yeah, that was the 4th fight of my deal with the UFC. I became a free agent. I didn't really go back to the UFC for like talking for a couple of weeks because they put me through the extra media and they put me through the drug testing came like 2 weeks after the fight and stuff, and I was like, just leave it to it. Came back to Sean Shelby and he was being a bit of a fucking tight ass, to be brutally honest with you. So we just were one thing led to another. We got talking to Dan Hardy. They offered me the opportunity to go in and make a lot of money over the next year and a half, win a world title. They're a big stronghold in Belfast now with Paul's success. So yeah, they've offers from all over the world, obscure offers from Russia and stuff. But after 1 or 2 conversations with Dan Hardy and the PFL, my mind was pretty much made up, and it's proved to be the best decision I ever made. I think, glad to be honest,
And then for Jack, you've touched on a little bit, but I am wondering, how has preparation been? Obviously, it was 2 injuries that kept you out of being able to have that fight with Igor in Octagon. So when you've had that kind of struggle all year, does training change to make sure, hey, like you said, you can't have that payoff and make sure you do get to fight night after you've had some struggles getting to the cage this year?
Not like I train all year. I'll train all year anyway. Like I said, it was a couple of weeks out from the original fight, and I got like a staph infection, and I was fucked. So that is what it is. Do you know what I mean? I had like a hole in my leg. I weren't. It weren't right. Do you know what I mean? And everyone around me is like, fuck this. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're not healthy. You won't even make the weight. Do you know what I mean? I couldn't start running. Couldn't do anything like that. So that was an old drama. And then I'd got an injury. Say, I don't know now. It was again like 2 or 3 weeks before the last fight that I was supposed to be having, and yeah, that took me out for about 3 weeks. So in reality, I had a staph infection, couldn't train for 3 weeks. I had an injury, couldn't train for 3 weeks. But since like November last year, I've been training, so I've had like 6 weeks break. So it is what it is. Obviously, like I'd be foolish to sit here and say it wouldn't have been helpful for someone to be like, oh, right, you're fighting this guy in 8 weeks and everything's specific for this guy and you're training, because don't you, exactly what's going on. So, but again, like he's been training for a little southpaw all the fucking time, same height as him, southpaw, who's just going to try and stick a left hand on his chin with not the same grappling credentials that I've got, not the same threats that I've got in those positions. He's never going to have to worry about him trying to take him down and submit him. He's just going to worry about him turn it into a dogfight and sticking his left hand on his chin. And he's done well with it, to be fair. But that was his kind of worry with Lewis. Whereas with me, he's got a lot more things to kind of worry about, and he knows that, which is why he's alluded to the fact that it's a harder fight. But it's like 3 weeks notice. The hardest thing about the 3 weeks notice is the weight, but we've got it at a catch weight, so can't really complain too much about that.
Thank you.
All right, guys, that's going to be the last question for these two. Guys, I really appreciate the time. You guys are amazing, respectful. Can't wait for October 3rd. So, Caolan and Jack, thank you very much.